Hello, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my journey from normal to Norway. It's been a while. Certainly has been a while. I definitely did not expect to go almost 4 months without posting a video, but here we are. That is what has happened. There's definitely been some ups and some downs. I've been experiencing some downs the last few months. Nothing like super big or dramatic and not long lasting, but man, those moments when they come, they really suck. So I've definitely experienced some of those. I feel like the first couple of months, life was just happening. And then there was a point in April, which I cannot believe was actually, 2 months ago now, or the time in April, almost 2 months ago, where I realized, like, I think something that was contributing to me feeling down was not being active here. And so I had every intention of posting a video, and then, life kept happening. There was a really silly, superficial thing that happened where I got a really, really bad sunburn on my arms, but then also my face. It was really, really bad. And I ended up not posting a video for a while because of that. I was like, I can't do this, which, such a focus of my life is, not focusing on appearance of myself or others, and, really trying to, promote that, that we're all beautiful and worthy regardless of external appearances. And so how terrible of me to use getting a really bad sunburn on my face as an excuse to not do video. There's definitely some growth for me there in that area. But then also it's just, days flying by. And I think, so I had a couple of self-realizations, kind of around the same time. And one of them I think definitely contributes to this. I'm not really on social media, and so I was not aware of, this term or phrase, but I'm sure many of you are. And it's, the revenge bedtime procrastination. That definitely is me for sure. The feeling that, I don't have control over my days. It's like I'm really grateful to be working from home, but it's long hours, and there's this chunk of time where it's like you have to be at work, you have to be doing this, and it feels like that's the majority of the day. And also because I'm not a morning person at all, I'm not one of those people who wakes up and has all this time to do stuff before work. It's like I want to wake up as late as I possibly can. So, it's not like I'm getting up and having time for myself and doing these things. And so it's like my experience is really wake up and start work, and then that's the whole day. And then you get to the evening and I'm, eating dinner and watching something, and then that turns into watching more. And then, all of a sudden it's, past midnight, and, I haven't even started, getting ready for bed or anything. And, so part of that, revenge bedtime procrastination is trying to have some control over your life. And so that turns into the nighttime hours when you feel like you don't have it during the day. And so, even though I in the moment I know watching another episode is not the right choice for me, that is the choice I make because I have control over that choice. And, so there's part of it is, outside of bed. It's prolonging the amount of time you have before going to bed. And then also part of it is once you're in bed, and I can justify things like, oh, I'm gonna research this thing, or I wonder what that means, or let me prepare for this thing, so let me look it up now. But then that takes up more time, and those are all things that will be there tomorrow. This information is not disappearing and going away. It's things that I can address later, but I don't. I choose to do it in those moments. So that's been really not great. I think for years, I've known that I don't have a sleep routine, and my sleeping habits are not great. And I mean, I don't have trouble sleeping when I'm actually in bed trying to sleep. It's the like amount of time and the timing in the day of when I am in bed. So it's often like going to bed super, super late. And then over the weekends when I don't have work, it's sleeping super late to try to make up for that. And on the days when I do have work, it's like, wow, I'm super tired and it's hard to get going this morning. And so, you know, this was definitely a big like light bulb moment of like, oh, it's not just happening. It's not like, just like a lack of willpower or something. Why can't I make this choice that other people seem to do so easily? It's like, oh no, there's this real thing going on, you know, where I'm experiencing this thing and I'm feeling this way, and like, here's my attempt to, you know, counteract that and to get control over it. So, that was definitely like a big aha moment for me. And so, you know, something that I just need to continue, thinking about. And so in those moments, you know, when I do have that choice to make of, you know, keep going or go to bed, you know, having awareness over what's going on inside of me will hopefully help me to make better choices for myself. So that was one big realization. And another one was like having to do with the pandemic. And, you know, it's something that I've kind of been struggling with, where, you know, if you watch these videos, you know, I live here alone in my apartment. And so I've spent a lot of time just myself, by myself. And I'm also like, I'm an introverted homebody. So like, I haven't been dying to get out to go to movie theaters or concerts or sporting events or these things where it's like, you know, you're going to be around a lot of people. Like, that's not something that I normally would want to do a lot anyway. So, you know, it was really easy for me to just kind of continue on in my habits of being here at home alone, and, you know, doing the like the drive up pickup for groceries, and, you know, not going in to eat at restaurants, and, you know, like, when I do have to come in contact with anybody, like wearing a mask, you know, regardless of if it's, you know, outside or inside or whatever. And so it's been a really solitary way to live life for a couple of years now. And I've been finding it really hard to get out of that, to kind of leave my safety bubble, as like other people have been excited to venture out back into the world. I have not felt excited about that. And then I think I've definitely been feeling some resentment around that too. And just like not understanding how, to me, it seemed like people thought that like the pandemic's over, so, you know, let me go back to normal life or whatever. And so, you know, I've just been definitely having these like these feelings of resentment and anger of like, it's not done, it's not over, and how can people just go back to doing things, and why am I, you know, not wanting to, and all of this. And so I was listening to a podcast, and like it really explained for me something that made a lot of sense again, where for the people who have not gotten COVID, which as far as I know, I have not, they can point to like the habits and procedures that they put in place during this time as what has kept them safe and healthy. And so it's really, really hard to go outside of those things, to kind of, you know, put aside some of those things. And so I definitely, that was again another aha moment of like, oh yeah, like I can, it's really easy for me to think like the way that I've been living my life, and the you know, measures that I put in place to keep myself healthy and safe is what has kept me healthy and safe. And so if I were to go against those things, then I would be putting myself in danger, and because of the way that this works, putting other people in danger as well. And so I've really been struggling with that of changing some of the ways that I live my life, and I don't even know if I want to, is the thing. And because I do feel like this isn't over, and so maybe it's a better idea for me to continue on as I have been doing, and I don't want to be, you know, reckless and regret it later. And yeah, so I've just been really, really struggling with that, and I think feeling more and more isolated maybe as others have been venturing out. You know, I think I definitely preferred it when, you know, everybody else was like also, you know, kind of like isolated, so I didn't feel like the only one, and we were doing much more like virtual things like hangouts and seeing people. So I actually felt like I was much more social earlier on in the pandemic when everybody else was in kind of the same situation. And so it's like, as people have been gathering and doing parties and hangouts, and it's just kind of baffling to me of like, how do they all feel so comfortable doing this? Like, the idea of it does not feel comfortable to me. And so I make the decision to not go, and then it's like, well, everyone else is together, you know, having fun, and here I am. So but again, I don't know that I would make a different choice. So it's just a very, very, very strange place to be in. You know, it's just another effect, another consequence of this pandemic. And I don't know how or when things will change. So it's just a very strange thing to be living through. But again, I am very grateful to be alive and living. So I don't know. It'll happen. Life will happen. I'll figure it out eventually. I just have not figured it out yet. So those are a couple of like big self-realizations that I had during this time. Let's see. Okay, so I'll go with like maybe a couple of downs and then go to a couple of ups. We'll end with the ups after the downs. So, you know, I've definitely been really annoyed with myself. I continue to be annoyed with myself that I have not made Oslo happen. And that's another thing that's baffling to me. I don't understand. It seems, and this is maybe an unfair assessment, but from an outside perspective, it seems like making big changes and moves like this comes a lot easier to other people than it does to me. You know, like, I'm gonna move to a different country and start my life over there. I have a job that's gonna have me move here, or, you know, these things, it just seems like people want to do it, and so they do it. And here I am wanting to do it for years and not doing it, not knowing how to do it, maybe being overly cautious about it, maybe wanting things to happen in an order that doesn't make sense, or maybe an aversion to taking big risks, or there's, you know, just something going on where I want to do this thing and I haven't done the thing. And it seems like other people can do similar things a lot quicker and easier, and I don't get it. So, yeah, I've definitely had some frustration towards myself. And even like, you know, the latest thing was actually today, you know, I read a thing where Business Insider, I guess, had like posted the, you know, top cities in the world for work-life balance. And number one is Oslo, Norway. I'm like, hi, like, how much do I need to like show myself that like I'd rather be living there? Like, I want the kind of life that I would have there a lot more than the kind of life that I have here. So like, what is gonna make me actually, you know, take steps and take risks and put the work in and to make this like a dream a reality? So yeah, that's a down, that I just continue to be frustrated and annoyed with myself. And also, being frustrated and annoyed with myself is not helpful, and I know that. So, you know, it's just kind of like working through those feelings and like getting to a better, more positive place, and then like coaching myself to move forward, take the steps. So, whew, very much still on that journey. Another down that I had was, I mean, it really was this like moment that lasted for just a few seconds, but I think it was a culmination of like not feeling great. So there was actually this one night, which like, I mean, I feel like I cry a lot fairly easily, especially when I'm like watching things or reading things. Like, you know, I am, you know, moved to tears fairly easily, but I don't know that like I'm not a cry yourself to sleep kind of person. I mean, well, not that that's a kind of person. I just don't know that I've experienced that. And so, but I had this one time where I'd gone to bed and I was laying in bed, and I was just overcome, and like I couldn't hold it back, and for just a few quick seconds I cried, and it passed, and I was just, you know, left there kind of feeling the after effects of that, and like, what just happened and what did that mean? And I think it was these feelings coming to a head of again, it's very like comparing myself to others, which I also know is not a super helpful thing to do in life. But just kind of like looking around and thinking, you know, it seems to me that so many other people have a passion and a clarity about what they want to be doing with their life. And I think in this case it was more career based, but you could look at it generally of people have this passion and this clarity and then they make it happen. And I think, you know, I was just sitting here feeling like I have dreams, I have things that I want, but like I think I felt like maybe I didn't, or maybe they weren't strong enough or as clear as other people's, or felt as possible to me as other people's seemed to feel to them. And so I was just kind of like sitting here thinking like, what is wrong with me? What am I missing? What am I lacking that other people have, where they have this conviction of, you know, this is what I want to be doing with my time, and then they know how to make it happen, and then they make it happen. And that just seems like such a murky, impossible, like, I can't think of a word right now. It's not journey, but it's whatever to go through and to make that happen. And so how are they making it happen? And what am I like fundamentally lacking as a person, as a human being, that I am not able to do this in my life? And like, you know, is that always going to be the case? And so am I going to like then come to the end of my life and like just have nothing but regrets of, you know, I didn't make things happen. I didn't, you know, get to a place where I was like spending my time the way I wanted to, or I didn't like fulfill this purpose or give something to the world. Like I, you know, and so, oof, yeah, that was a tough one. So I definitely like just really got to a place where I was feeling really down about that. And then, I think it was like when it gets really bad, like when it gets maybe to the worst point of it, is there's kind of a hopelessness. Like, this is how I am, this is how my life is, and this is how it will always be. I will always be lacking that thing. I will always not know what it is that I'm lacking, so I can't even like try to fix it. And so like I'm just always gonna feel this way, and always feel like oh, I'm getting a little emotional thinking about it, like always feel like I've wasted my life. And so that was that moment. That was the worst of it, when I was in bed that night and just feeling like, what am I doing? You know, why can't I figure this out? This like hopelessness of, this is it forever and always to the end, you know? So I've had some of those tough times over the last few months when I have not been here talking to you. But there have been some ups as well. May 15th, I had my birthday, and I definitely was thinking about, you know, posting a video around then, because it's always this kind of anniversary of, you know, when I went to Oslo in 2019, it was for my birthday on the 15th and their national holiday on the 17th. And so there's this kind of like anniversary of that trip. And then it was also 6 months before that trip is when I started this channel, and it was because I had like made the decision and made plans to go on that trip. And so it was this kind of like ramping up to it when I started this. And so I really wanted to do a video, and I just, you know, didn't make it happen. I was gonna say couldn't make it happen, but I don't know if that's true or not. I could or couldn't. It didn't happen. And then so it was my birthday, and then you know, a couple of days after that, my mom came in town, and we drove to Palm Springs and stayed there for an extended weekend at an Airbnb that had a pool. And I mean, I love being in a pool, and it's been years, like I never got to be in a pool. And so I was super excited to just kind of be in there and to float around a bit. And so I really enjoyed that. So that was a fun, you know, kind of chill trip. I definitely prefer things to be a little more chill. And so, you know, we did a puzzle, and, you know, we were watching TV and hanging out in the pool. And, yeah, I really enjoyed that time. And the other thing is, well, kind of something that hasn't happened yet, and it's an up and it's exciting, but it's also scary to me. So my mom is planning a trip for her and my sister and I to go to England, which her family's from there and I've never been. And so like the general thought of that is really exciting, but it's, you know, planned to be in August, which is just a couple of months from now. And because of all the stuff that I mentioned earlier about my, you know, continuing feelings about the pandemic, that's also scary. Like, I don't know, the thought of being like in a contained space, like a plane, and other people aren't wearing masks and taking it as seriously as I am, is scary to me. And then I go back and forth of like, should that be scary? Like, is that okay? Am I, you know, being too cautious to the point where I'm, you know, I don't know. And so, yeah, and then, you know, traveling and thinking about, you know, what if I'm the only one? Will I, you know, these feelings of like, am I going to feel weird or wrong if I am wearing a mask? And, you know, then again, it's like the progression of, you know, the ebbs and flows of this pandemic where, you know, new variants come out and some are worse than others. And so it's like this unknown of like, what state is the world even going to be in August? I don't know. And like, will I be on board with the state that things are at, or will I still be struggling against it? I don't know. And so, yeah, there's definitely some like some fears, I guess, around that trip. But also, excitement that it's happening. And, you know, we're going to go to, London, and we're going to go to Liverpool, and we have some family that lives kind of like in between, so we're going to spend some time with family. I guess like my ancestors are from Oxford, and so we're going to get to go there. And I'm definitely like looking into like locations of Great Pottery Throwdown and Great British Baking Show, and like how possible is it to see any of that, to just like, you know, be in the area. But, you know, I don't want it to be too like touristy, go. Like, that is stressful to me, the thought of like filling up every day with so many things. And so, you know, I'm like, I want to see like pretty gardens and you know, like pretty countryside, and, you know, I don't know. So, it's interesting. This will be kind of like my first, you know, big trip since Oslo back in 2019. And that trip, you know, it was this push and pull of like, well, sure, I'd like to share it with somebody, but like, I really enjoyed like only having to take my wants into account and doing what I wanted, when I wanted, how I wanted. And so it'll be interesting being on this trip with 3 people, me, my mom, and my sister, and kind of balancing everybody's wants. And so, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited that that's coming up, and really thankful that she's, you know, doing that for us. And you know, it'll be another place that I can say that I've been. So yeah, I've definitely started to like make lists and plans of what I need, and, you know, what do I have, and yeah, so it's something to look forward to during this time. But anyway, yeah, this, of course, as is the case with me, always has gotten to be quite a long video. But it's been a long time, and I had a lot to say, and I'm sure that I could delve into any of these subjects deeper, but I think I really wanted to more just like do this thing. I think the longer that I go without posting a video, it becomes a bigger deal and harder to do in my head. And so I was like, just do it. Do an overview of what's been going on, get caught up, and then the next time I have a thought, excuse me, wow. And since I don't edit these videos, you're gonna get to see that. So I think just kind of get this one out of the way, get back into it, and experience it again, and then move forward from here. So the next time that I have a thought of something to talk about, I can just do a video on that subject. So hopefully that's what I will do, and hopefully it is sooner rather than later. I really miss this when I'm not doing it. I miss talking with you, and even though I'm, you know, sitting here alone on my couch filming this video, and then I'm gonna post it, so you're not even gonna be watching it while I'm talking in real time, I definitely do. It gives me a feeling of connection, of, you know, to, I think, people in general, but then also to you specifically, whoever you are, whenever you're watching this. it really like fulfills something in me, knowing that that's going to happen, that, you know, even though I am sitting here alone saying these words out loud right now, that I'm not really alone, that you're going to be watching this at some point. So it's almost like a conversation. So I hope that you've gotten something out of this video. If you have, let me know. I would love to connect with you. You know, comments are always welcome. Yeah, thanks so much for being along on the ride with me, and sticking around even though sometimes it's a while in between times when I post videos. Thanks for being there, and for I guess being a witness to my life, to hearing what I have to say, and whether or not you know, connect, whether or not you know, comment or anything. I guess thank you just for being there, for being on the other end of this. Hopefully I will see you and speak to you again soon. And as always, Hada.